Good morning, afternoon, and evening, guys. You're locked into Conscious Minds TV with myself, BVG. And today's show, I'm going to be talking to Solely Spirited. And me and Solely have hooked up this year a couple of times, and he's invited me onto his platform. And we spoke about astrology. We've got two shows that are uploaded on his channel and my channel. The first one is called The Age of Aquarius, and the second one is called Herbal Astrology. But today's show, my aim is more about promoting solely and uh, giving the viewers a bit of insight on what you do, how you got into your spiritual journey, your channels, your shows, what you've been studying, who you spoke to. It's just more of an introduction about solely. So how's it going, brother? Are you good?
I'm pretty good. You caught me in a decent time, I guess. At the moment it is fall, and I was out here, smoking some trees. So I am pretty lifted. I hope, as you can see, but I'm pretty good. Life has been pretty good. It's been nice.
Yeah, likewise, brother. Before we get into the main discussion, just let people know the name of your YouTube channel and any other platforms online where people can contact you or find you.
Yeah. All right. So typically, I can be found through Facebook. Like that's where I'm at. So I have a Facebook, and it is solely spirited. There you can add me. I also have a page, and that page would be Astro Tarot Arts, and that's like the page where I have organized all of the service that I offer because I am an astrologer. Like I do astrology readings and all of that, but I have also been, looking into numerology and tarot. So I also offer like those services as well. So yes, I guess it'll be like my YouTube, which would be solely Astrology Plus on YouTube, and then my Facebook, which is solely Spirited, and then my page, which is Astro Tarot Arts. Like I'm saying, that's pretty much it.
Cool. Yeah, I've got some questions to ask about your channel and the stuff you do online, but that's gonna be a bit more later in the show. But ultimately, the first thing I always like um, to ask my guests is at what point in your life did you start looking into more spiritual subjects or looking into deeper things? Because I find that usually when I spoke to like previous guests, it's usually like a defining moment in their life. Um, Give us a bit of background on how that came about for you and why it happened.
Okay, so for me, I was I would honestly say it all started when I was like around 8, 9 years old, because
Yeah.
I was originally born in Africa, right? So I actually traveled through I traveled through America, and through the travel there was like this process that I went through and certain things happened. I was like, I guess, in this van with these people because what happened was we ultimately were refugees because where I lived, which was Chad, it was a civil war, and I guess it was because we had a dictator, and I guess they had found money. They found like oil, and they were making money through like natural resources, but they were sharing with the people. So the people were fighting the government for the money and everything. And my dad's brother tried to kill um the dictator. He tried to kill him, but he missed. So they came to
Oh
our house.
wow.
Yeah, so they came to our house, and my dad, he had no idea where my dad's brother was at. Like they were asking him where my dad's brother was at, but he said he didn't know, and he was honest. But they shot him anyways, because they didn't believe him. So they shot him, and then my dad had died. But then he came back. you know, it's very interesting because me and my dad, we have like this karmic tie in a sense. I want to say, like, I feel like there has been like this karmic theme that has been passed on to me from my dad, and my dad got from his grandmother or something like this. Because when my grandmother, she got, like, I think she got shot, or like just something happened with her nervous system and the right side of her body, right? And then my dad later on, he himself got shot too, right here. And then me, I got shot right here too, so I can see that it's like
Wow.
something that's being passed, like something that needs to be dealt with, and like the heredity karma, like, if you know what I'm saying, because we do get past certain karmas from our parents that we have to deal with.
Definitely.
But
Definitely. Wow, that's very interesting. I mean, like, um, I don't know about if you want to talk about. I don't expect you to get into detail about what happened, but like, at what age did that event happen to you?
well, so I think I was like around 8, 9 years old when that unfolded. But when this happened, we were in a sense, I don't want to say recruited, but we were kind of chosen. Like I think we're like refugees, you know. So this was how we came to America, and through this process, I was traveling through like these vans and deserts and stuff like that, and certain like spiritual phenomena did happen. You see, I was like seeing things in the fucking desert and everything. And my mom was affirming to me. She was like, "Oh, that's your dead grandpa" or some shit like that, you know. So I was like, but also something about me that I came to understand was I'm just like intuitively there because children, as like at a young age when they're not really particularly, you know, I guess you can say like program, they are closer to source and they're more intuitive and they understand more. And that was just me. I always
Definitely.
had like a natural understanding. Like even when it came to medicine, I would never really want to like pop a Tylenol pill. I would rather like think like I should take some ginger. Or I just somehow I just knew that these certain herbs would help me, you know. But I was just always already on this like spiritual or whatever. But then I want to say like I truly started waking up when I reached 14 years old and I got shot. Because when that unfolded, I thought I was gonna die, you know. So I was like, holy, because so it was. So this was when I was 14 years old, and back in the days, I used to have like, I want to say I had from like this addiction or this like dependency to like cannabis, and I was constantly smoking it, and like I started breaking into houses and everything for, to get that right, to get money for that, to like support my addiction. But then one day, you know, that's like something that karma gets involved in. You know, now you're messing with like people's value and time, like things that they work with and everything else. So like karma does, you do get what you do get what you put out into the universe, you know. So I ended up getting shot because of that. And like when I had gotten shot, I realized this was like my karma that I had to pay. Like nothing is for free, you know. So yeah, it was
Yeah.
like a Wednesday and I was smoking with my friend, but I wasn't high enough, I guess. And I was like, let's go break into a house. He was like, nah, but I persuaded him, even a Gemini. I talked him into it. So then we did. But that day, I told him he could just be a lookout, but I was doing everything right. And then things didn't go well, and I ended up getting shot technically, and I was on the ground, and I thought I was gonna die. I was like, damn, this is it for me. And I was just thinking, like, reflecting on my life, and it is really true that, like, when you think you're about to die, your life flashes in front of you. You know, like I seen everything like in front of me. I was like, dang, this is it for me. So I thought I was gonna go to hell due to my like indoctrination of religion and everything. And, you know how they were like teaching us that if you sin, then you're gonna go with the devil and this and that. So I was fucking fearful, bro. I was like, God, if you're there, like I'm sorry, I didn't mean to sin. Like give me another chance. Blah blah. I was like, I will really be like a saint, you know. And then I remember like, cause I wasn't able to breathe because I got shot right here, and I was just like suffocating. And I was just like, oh, I guess this is it for me. So I thought I was gonna go to hell, you know. So I was like, I'm ready. So then I let go, and and you know, I did have like this one other experience where I was like on the other side, and you know, all these things unfolded then too. But I feel like, you know, just going on and on and on. So
No, no, it's all good, bro. I mean, like, I really appreciate you spilling your heart out because I can imagine it was a very traumatic experience and a very personal experience. Like, not everyone has the courage to share that trauma and to, how can I say, and to be reminded of it all the time. And I commend you that you have the heart and the courage to talk about it, and you're mature enough to instead of like dwell on it, you've took that experience and transformed from it, and you're trying to like improve your life and be more spiritual, and like you say, like you said in your other show, you're trying to drop that ego, and that's ultimately what we're all here to do. Like we have to drop that ego and just we're energy rather than material. That's the way I see people and see things at the moment. But
yeah,
moving on from that, as I mentioned earlier, we've both got an amazing love for astrology, and we've done a couple of shows on astrology. Tell us a bit about when you got into that and how you got into that, or was it a particular book you read, or a particular sign, or a particular person that influenced you? Talk us through the process of how you got into looking into the heavens and the stars and the energy of the universe.
so you know, I feel like it always starts with the typical like zodiac, like the sun sign and the understanding of like your sun sign. You know, it's pretty funny because I think I got into this when I was like 12 years old when astrology like showed itself to me, and when I was 12 years old, in a sense, I had like somehow I miscalculated my date and I thought it was a Cancer. So I would always read things about like, the Cancer energy, but in actuality I was a Gemini, which is funny. But I actually truly like started studying astrology when I became 16 years old. So there was this guy I used to watch, and he was a spiritual person. He would like he would teach spiritual things and everything. He would always talk about how it is important that we know ourselves, know thyself, and he was talking about how he was promoting astrology to be like a tool for like self-awareness, self-enlightenment, and I was like, oh, that's pretty cool. So then I did download a couple books, like I went to this like website and I got like 100 astrology books, like the top 100 astrology books, and then I just started diving into those, or like books about just the planet, like just a book about Uranus and things like this, and I put that
Yeah.
together. But I was also absorbing just as much information as I can. And my chart, like something about my chart is I'm like a Gemini, and I have a lot of placements in Gemini. So that Gemini energy, the thing about Gemini energy is, so Gemini opposes Sagittarius, and one of our, like, I guess, definite oppositions that you can see, because Gemini and Sagittarius are actually kind of similar, even though they are indeed oppositions, they do have similarities, but it's just the fact that, Sagittarius, they're more of the teachers, whereas Gemini are the students, so they're constantly seeking, wanting to learn, so I was able to absorb this quickly, like the information and everything.
Yeah. What I was going to ask is a question I always ask my guests is, what do you love most about being born under the sun sign of Gemini, and if there's anything you hate, or not hate, what should I say, dislike about being born under the sign of Gemini?
Okay, so I think I find it to be, in a sense, like a blessing to be born under this sign, but I am like not naive to, the negative aspects of the sign, because a lot of people talk about you know their sign being the best, like you being Scorpio, you would probably say Scorpios are the best, right? Oh, it's just like that. But like whenever I talk about Gemini, whenever I produce something about Gemini, I always talk about like how we think we have like a we think like we're the best, like we have a God complex, so like but I guess I should answer your question directly. So ultimately, I like my intelligence, I like my curiosity, I like the fact that I am good at communicating, I'm good with the words and everything, because so far I think I've learned like 4 languages, and like English is my 4th language. So I guess
Wow.
I think, yeah. So I think it to be pretty good how, I'm pretty good at this language, even better than most natives to this place, so I think that's the interesting. But yeah, back to the astrology question, right? Ultimately, 16 years old, and I was, just learning about books and everything, but I also realized that like astrology in a sense is like in my DNA, if you get what I mean. Because the thing is, I have such a strong connection with Mercury, like me having stellium in Gemini, that's one, but just this thought energy, and me and the thought energy, I have like such a connection with it, and
It's the messenger, isn't it?
yeah, Thoth the messenger, but also the sorcery aspect of it too, because I consider myself to be a sorcerer, like I understand magic, and it's like a lot of people confuse magic, but it's not that complicated. Like I like to say that in a sense, magic is like language, because the root of magic is our thoughts, like there's a reason why we call spells, and it's like we are constantly creating our reality, and we're constantly in a sense doing magic just by the words we speak, like.
Yes, brother, definitely, because Santos always mentions that the word magic is magnetism, and magnetism is to move, and that's what like sound does. So
Yeah.
it makes sense to what you're saying. Moving on from that, we spoke in one of the podcasts we did about like how astrology is not taken serious by a lot of people. It's a science that's been suppressed for like many years, and it's been seen as a pseudoscience. And if you had to change someone's mind on why you think it's such a great science and why it's important, and explaining how it works, how would you just briefly do that? And why is it important? Is what I'm asking from your perspective.
Yeah, so first and foremost, I just want to say that ultimately it's like the ones who are meant to see will see, and the ones who aren't will not. So
Yeah,
people, like, there's just no helping them, but ultimately, like, most of the times what I would do if I see that someone doesn't really disbelieve it, but more like they've never like studied it, because it's like there isn't really someone out there who studied astrology and doesn't believe it because it's so spot on. It's like a science that's everywhere, I guess, in the sense you can say, or a science that's just so applicable. And but ultimately, most of the time, what I would do is I would tell them, like, if they seem like they don't really know nothing about astrology, thereby they're like disagreeing with it, I would just ask them, like, for their birthday information, like the birthday, birthplace, birth time, and everything. And I just pull up their chart and I tell them something that I might see to be like of significance, or maybe like something with the moon or something like that. And I'll tell that to them, something that I couldn't possibly know about them, but yet I do just do the natal chart, So it's like you can't really disbelieve them because I just did it. Get what I mean?
exactly. Yeah, same with me, brother. Like, it's weird. Ever since I came across the science and the knowledge of astrology, man, it's just literally, like you said, you can apply it to so many different things, and like the template of it is just the template of the universe, and like it just it's so it's just like you said. I think you said it really well, like with the first thing you said. Those who are meant to see will see, and those who are not meant to see won't see. And that is spot on, because like with some people, like they just won't get it, and it's not like, it doesn't mean those people are bad people or they're stupid people. It's just that personally, I feel that um, all of us individually have like been here many times, and some of us are more spiritually evolved than others. Like, doesn't matter on age. Like, for example, like my parents, they don't get all this stuff and whatever, but just because they're older than me, it doesn't mean that they're more spiritually evolved. Maybe I've been here more times, and this is why I can grasp these kind of things. You get what I mean? So I think it's more of a like spiritual evolution is of why people understand astrology and why they don't.
Yeah, most definitely. I definitely do agree with you. Yeah, like you mentioned, like these people aren't stupid, and I like do agree, but like what I realized in a sense is like there are most definitely different forms of intelligence. Like there are certain people that aren't tapped into like the spirit realm, but they just might have like a grasp of understanding. Like I'm even talking about some people, who might be under doctrinated under like religion, but just the way that they express it and articulate it is amusing, I guess you can say. But yeah, it's very interesting.
Yeah. You were saying that you're a Gemini and being born under the sign of Gemini, which is communication and intelligence. Um, from checking out your work, I've noticed you do a lot of shows and you do talk to a lot of people. I see that Mercury energy in you. You like every day you've got a different video, and you're very quick on the move, because like obviously Mercury's orbit is the shortest orbit, like, so you're very quick-witted, and I see that you're quick fire and producing content. um, you mentioned your channel's name at the beginning, so give us the name again, and tell us what videos we can find on there, and who you've interviewed, or any particular shows that you like, and the stuff you've got coming up, or what your overall plans are for the channel.
So at the moment, I have so my channel's name is Solely Astrology Plus, and it's ultimately revolving around astrology indeed. So at the moment, the videos I have done all 12 signs. So I have all of the 12 signs. I have a video for every sign explaining like the energy and the sign. And, like Mehmet over here is a Scorpio, and he's seen the Scorpio video, and it is pretty spot on or whatever. But yeah,
Yeah.
I also have I also have the planets. You know, I do need to do like Saturn, Jupiter, Uranus, Pluto, Neptune. But yeah, at the moment I also have the planets, and then I have some I have some videos on there, but best believe there are more to come because I've always wanted to have a channel because the thing about me is I just know so much, you know, like there's so much stuff that's common sense to me, but what I realize is that common sense is not that common nowadays, you know. So it's like it's like even though I might know this and I might think it to be common sense, it would still be wise for me to maybe make a video on, you know, like fast food restaurants because even though it would be common sense that it's called junk food, like, you know, there has to be a correlation, but people still wouldn't understand. But you know, it's like there's just these things that I know. But you know, me being a Gemini and me having that Sagittarius energy as well, I do like to communicate my information, you know, like I do like to preach, teach. And my ascendant is also in Pisces. And, you know, the Pisces energy is like an old soul sort of energy, you know, because Pisces being the last sign, it kind of does indicate that this person, in a sense, has gone through, like, I guess we can say multiple lifetimes, but it just shows, like, a certain level of maturity, you know. And I really do feel that, like, it's not even feel, but I just know that I am a very old soul, you know, and a lot of these things I know, they're memory. Like, I didn't sit around and study most of the stuff I know. I just found a way to tap into it, you know, and remember. Because it's all
Yeah.
about remembering, right?
Makes sense because Pisces is a very sensitive sign because Pisces in the body is a 2 feet. So that takes in all the energy of the earth that our feet are stepping on, and it's a very sensitive sign. And it being at the bottom, it's almost like holding the rest of the zodiac up as well. So uh, they are a very, how can I say, a wise sign, also being ruled by Jupiter and Neptune as well.
Yeah.
They have a very mystical and spiritual side to them. Um, the way we actually connected was through our mutual friend Lee, who and Fabian, who have their channel Alkalize to Realize. Did you start doing shows on that channel first before you did your own channel, or which way round was you doing it?
Yeah, I definitely did. So ultimately Lee, I guess you can say recognized me on Facebook because I made this post, you know, about alchemy and about us being in control of our reality and just, you know, things of alchemy and everything. And he, you know, messaged me asking if I would like to be interviewed by him, and I was like, sure. And then when the day came, we got on the phone and we were talking, and I was like, I know this is like last minute, but how would you feel about being a host on my podcast? And I was like, oh, that would be cool, like, of course, because, you know, in a sense, I really felt like I manifested all of this because in the beginning of the year, I think it was like at the beginning of the year, I was out here and I was like making videos, but I think I was like making like I was, you know, like giving gratitude and everything because I understand, you know, how the exchange of the energies of the just how the universe works in the sense of like exchanging energy, you know. So you technically you get what you give. So whatever you're giving, you get. So I was just thinking about the things that I would be grateful for and everything, you know. But on top of that, I was also making these philosophical videos. I think I'm not sure what I was talking about, but I was talking about something deep, you know. I was talking about birthdays and how when we are singing birthdays, like, you know, when it's someone's birthday and you're like, happy birthday, you're not really, in a sense, celebrating their life, but it's more of a ritual that's in a sense promoting death because you're like, happy birthday to you. How old are you now? And when you think of old and the number shifts from like, let's say 5 to 6, I mean, it doesn't have to be there, you know, it could be like from 22 to 23. Like there's a sense of I'm getting older, I'm going to die soon, you know. So in a sense, like birthdays and the song and like the ritual and everything is kind of just a reminder that you're going to die soon. And this is kind of it's kind of a means of programming your cells because your cells, they everything is in a sense under your command. So whatever you're thinking here, which is I'm getting older, I'm gonna die soon, your cells are also getting programmed under that. And you know, they do as they do as they are told because everything in a sense is energy, everything is vibrating at a certain frequency, you know. So this is why some people die faster than others because death isn't particularly something that's natural. Like we're not really supposed to die because death is a mutation, you know. Like we didn't come into this existence through a mutation. We are like we have certain intelligence upon us, you know. So death is like the mutation of the DNA because you have put pressure upon your body, you know, to the point where it starts mutating. And this is where cancer and all of these things come up. So if you know how to maintain yourself, you can live for technically as long as you want, right?
Yeah, it's like the three modes in the zodiac. You have cardinal, which is the start of life. and then you have fixed, which is your life, and then you have mutable, which is the transformation or the death of your life. So again, like we said, astrology applies to all
everything.
angles of life and the way it works. But yeah, talking about the alkalized to realize, yeah, I want to give a big shout out to Lee. What an amazing human being. He is such a lovely, lovely person. And
Yeah.
if it wasn't for him, we wouldn't be talking, because he approached me as well and said he listened to my show I did with Violet May Brown on medical astrology and alchemy, and he said, "Oh, I really like your stuff, and you need to come and do shows for us." And what happened was, literally, as soon as we connected, my phone broke, so I didn't have no camera, and we didn't like get to do no shows and whatever. But during that time, me and Lee still kept in contact and that. And yeah, I just want to thank him as well. What an amazing guy, and Fabian's a really cool guy as well. All the people I've met, so many nice people through the Alkalize group, Pixie, and I can't think of any other names at the moment. But yeah, I'm really glad I bumped into you guys and like came across you, and we've got a really good connection when it comes to like astrology and stuff. Give us a bit of info on like what other subjects you've touched up upon in your own channel and the stuff you've done on Alkalize and Realize, because I know you spoke to Santos, you spoke to Araya, you spoke to, I saw your interview with Adam Lewington recently. That was a really good interview. I know you've done stuff on urine therapy. Give the listeners a bit of insight on what other subjects you've touched up upon or what you're interested in.
Okay, so yeah, me, being me, I'm ultimately, I guess you can say, interested in everything. My curiosity is one of my great traits, like the fact that I want to learn. So I am like very versatile in the sense that, I can technically interview almost anyone about any subject. I guess so. Me, I've done talks on almost every topic or subject. Like I have indeed done urine therapy, and just urine therapy in of itself, and that journey is an interesting one, right? Which me, urine therapy was represented to me by Lee through the group chat. So I think it's very interesting that it was because of him that I got onto that as well. But I've also done some, you know, um, videos or interviews on like astrology with Santos Bonacci. Like me and him, we did a couple of videos on astrology.
How did you connect with Santos?
With Santos, so it was us. It was ultimately thanks to the lovely Araya Soma and Lee,
Yeah.
also, because them two, they told them about me, because I did a couple of interviews with Araya Soma. So me and her, we talked about 5G, and we were also talking about how the Holocaust being a hoax, climate change being a hoax, like the video.
Yeah, I've seen that show. Brilliant show.
Yeah, the show is still there. Like if you are interested in seeing her point, then you could go back to Alkalize to Realize and check out the show. We have all of the shows in since archived. Like it's all saved on the internet, so that's like the beautiful thing about the show and the podcast, that everything will always be there. But yeah. But I'm typically versatile. I would talk about anything ultimately, and I have done a little bit of anything. Done a little bit of everything.
Yeah. What I was gonna say, are there any subjects that you've got into like very recently that you're finding very interesting, like that stems from, like, because you say you look into numerology and stuff like that. Is there any like other branch off subjects from astrology that you've looked into?
Well, to me, I feel like another thing that really interests me is like, I want to say the feminine and masculine energy, and
Yeah.
in the sense of like how these two energies I guess, intertwine with one another. But I don't even know why I'm getting into that. But that's like, ultimately. So let's say like whenever I'm doing a reading for someone, I guess this is where I could apply my knowing of these two energies. Because a lot of people tend to tell me that I am very, in a sense, balanced in my feminine and my masculine when it comes to these readings. But ultimately, what I do want to say is I have lately been like watching certain like series on Amazon, and these series are like episode shows. They have been tapping me into like different dimensions or whatever, because ultimately it's like the energy we receive is the energy we start projecting out. So I was the show Doctor Who. Obviously, you do.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I've been watching that, and to me, like, just certain things pop out at me, and I'm like, this must mean this, like, and I do think it is really possible for there to be, in a sense, an artificial age where we are dominated by artificial beings, iRobot and everything, and I actually do think that this is where we're
Yeah.
headed with 5G.
I think we're in that at the moment.
Yeah, we actually
I
are.
would say
Yeah,
we're in that. Yeah.
yeah,
We are in the age we spoke about in our first show we did together. For anyone who hasn't seen that, you can check that out on my channel and on Souli's channel, where
right.
we spoke about like the age of Aquarius and how technology is playing a big part in our lives, for the good and for the bad. Like we said, if it wasn't for technology, we wouldn't be able to be connecting right now. So it's just like everything's a tool and we have to utilize it to the best possible way we can.
Most definitely.
But brother, I really appreciate your time to share your ideas and your journey and your thoughts with us. Sorry, my phone's ringing. Bear with me. Yeah, so I appreciate you taking your time, and it's been a good little chat. And it's good, like I say, to introduce yourself. And I always think it's good for people to know the person before they look into their work as well. Like, it's good to get a vibe of the person and how they are and whatnot. Once again, before we go, give us your website, and also, you said you had a Facebook page. Was it astrology and tarot? Like, give us the title of that where people can contact you for readings.
So typically, you should well, you could get in touch with my personal Facebook, which is Solely Spirited, or you can
Yeah,
also go to my page, which is Astro Tarot Art. So that's ASTROTAROT, and then ARTZ, with the Z, not an S, and then yeah, Astro Tarot Arts readings or something like that.
yeah.
But yeah.
Cool. You got any interviews lined up, or you got anything in the pipeline, or you working on any particular projects at the moment?
Yeah, I do. You guys could, look out for another video with Santos, because me and him, we plan on making another, and um, yeah, I got a couple of other people I need to do as well. Yeah, most definitely.
Yeah. So there's things in the pipeline that we can expect.
Yeah, of course, always, always.
Definitely, brother. And I can say, obviously, there's going to be more time where we're going to connect and obviously um, do some stuff. We've got a few ideas that we've spoke about, but what I won't do is say that we're going to do this and that, just because sometimes things happen and we can't get to do it. But definitely, I'm sure we're going to do another video soon. And yeah, like I said, once again, thanks for coming onto my platform. And I only had to return the favour of you inviting me on your platform a couple of times, so it was only right I had to invite you for you to share your story. And yeah, just it's always good. What I like as well, recently I've noticed that I'm connecting with a lot more younger people who are getting into astrology and spirituality. When we was young, none of us were really into this type of thing. But again, I think because we have a lot of the younger generation to look into these type of stuff. But anyway, thanks for joining me, and the viewers for watching. I hope you enjoyed it, and peace out from me, and catch up with you guys soon. Peace.
Yeah, peace. You know, like we say, namaste.